Why is it that majority of the black women have attitudes in these folks' establishment? What the is wrong with y'all? Y'all come to work every single day with a attitude. Everybody else so nice, sweet, and jolly, but us, no. We got to have a attitude. And we do it in front of customers. That's sad. And y'all messy as like, why are we as black women are so miserable? And we bring to work. Even at the doctor's office. I mean, everywhere you go. I went to the doctor yesterday. And my nurse was a white lady. She was so nice and sweet. And when she took me to check out to this black lady, the black lady was like, well, you see, she over there, don't forget, she can check out too. She can ring out too. Like, why would you say that in front of me, a patient, and have an attitude like, I don't even want you to check me out now. What the is your problem? You didn't want to work, don't come to work. That's your job. It don't matter who don't have a customer. Like, come on, sisters. We need to get it together. We need to keep our attitudes and our misery in the car or at home. And when we clock in these folks' establishments, we need to have the utmost respect for patients, customers, or whatever. God, be professional. Leave that ghetto at home. Y'all weird. I don't like y'all. I don't like y'all. From now on, white people, I love y'all. I don't like my sisters. Not all of them. But 99.999% of them.
Oh, she gonna upset the sister code and the establishment, and they gonna get mad and they gonna come for her. And it would seem as though this woman probably has a better hand on the pulse of this whole thing that's going on, because it looks like she a male lady, right? From her uniform, it looked like she's a male lady. First of all, I always like to give credit to the content creators, so that's always going to be a link back to them in the description. So shout out to all of the content creators, regardless of whether or not I agree with them or not. And then on top of that, make sure you get your Teach Henley, 40% off your first order plus 20% off for life. And then last but not least, make sure you tap into the Patreon. We got Stock Club on Friday. That's going to be absolutely lit. And so I'm looking forward to that. But now she's basically describing what a lot of guys, especially black men, experience. Now, there is a caveat to this, and I want to break down what she's saying. There is a caveat to this. It's because I don't think that a lot of black women operate like this with white men that they like. Let me say that again for the people in the back. They code switch. They switch it up and they show and they give chameleon vibes. And even to black guys that they like, that's the key, not to black men, but to black men that they like. And especially if they decide to step outside of what they would normally date as far as proximity to other black men. Usually, black women date black men, white women date white men, so on and so forth, right? But they code switch, and they'll even code switch when they are trying to get the job. But once they get the job and they get comfortable in it and they feel like the job is going to be there, then that's when the real them comes out. So when you go out and you experience this, because men, especially black men, have been talking about this for a long time, the attitude is crazy. And it's almost like they don't like themselves, like the drama that they're dealing with at home or before they get there. And boy, I'm telling you, imagine what it's like at home for the man that they living with, or the person that they being with, or their baby daddy, or whoever it is that they interacting with. If you catching this, you catching a good side of them. You not catching the bad side of them. You catching the good side of them. So imagine what the person that's dealing with them at home got to interact with. Imagine with what they talk like to each other. Like they even refer to each other as the B word and all of this stuff. And so they look at negative talking to each other as a term of endearment. And what people don't realize a lot of times is that is almost like a spirit. That is something that is on you. That is something that is with you. And that's why it's so hard to break once they get outside of it. And when they get into their comfort zone in the workplace and they dealing with you on a regular basis, whether they're in a retail environment or they're in a dental office, or, they're getting checked out or whatever it is, that ghetto-ness, that thing is always, it's like a monkey on their back and it just can't get off. You see what I'm saying? And so what people don't understand is that is a learned behavior, and That is something that is cultural. And I'm going to hit back on the culture, and I'm always going to bring it back to the culture, because a lot of people don't understand that these cultural norms that we embrace so much is so toxic for you, and it's going to limit your opportunities. It's going to limit the things that you can do, the doors that you open. A sweet spirit is a woman's kryptonite for anything. It will break down a man, it will break down a door, it will break down so much. And that's why women of other cultures, it don't have anything to do with your skin color. Women of other cultures get a leg up on you when you say, well, it's just because you black. No, it's because you got an attitude. And women that have bad attitudes often at times get treated like trash. They get treated like lower class, justifiably. Because women thinking a lot of times, and they try to make the excuse and say, well, if they did it or if a man do it, first of all, you're not a man. And secondly, ain't no if they do it, because they don't en masse do it. That is something that is stereotypically tied to, because there is truth in it. It is stereotypically tied to a particular group of women. And now you're starting to see women. Women are stepping out a lot, especially black women. Nowadays, women are absolutely stepping out, and they're saying, listen, we tired of these bad attitudes. We tired of the way that y'all voting. We tired of y'all still being ignorant. We tired of y'all tying yourself back to us by having a single baby daddy and then making the rest of us look bad. We tired of y'all absolutely continuing to file for divorce. We're tired. We tired, boss. We's tired, boss. We want to go back to what the men are talking about, and we don't want to be out here suffering, struggling, and going through all of these self-inflicted wounds. But so many of y'all are still stuck in that space that is dragging the rest of you down culturally, because that is your norm. I got a video that I was reacting to that I haven't even dropped yet. It'll drop probably within 24 hours of this video. And it's of a woman that's saying and absolutely despising everything about Sexy Red. And she despised what she represents. She despised the very character of who she portrays, because it's so negative and it's so impactful in a negative way to people that listen to her, that think that they don't, it's always funny, because I've always preached this for a long time, and people say, oh no, the music don't affect me. Yes, it do. It affected the way that you dress, walk, talk, how you wear your hair, the whole 9 yards. And so, you are influenced, and then you are influential on other people when you continue to perpetuate the same stereotypes. That's not going to be beneficial for your life. You have to understand that the energy that you put out there is largely going to be the energy you get back. Not all the time. Sometimes you can't help it. Sometimes people are just nice to you in the same way they're negative to you. Sometimes things happen to you just because that's just happenstance. You just so happen to be the right person at the right place at the right time, but it doesn't change how you react to it and then what your results are going to be, because you are the energy that you put out. And so if you keep getting negative people, or you keep getting people around you that are negative for you, or you're attracting a certain type of man, that's because that is who you are. You are a reflection of the thing that you attract. And so if you attract money, if you attract good energy, if you attract great people, if you attract prosperity, you attract people that have prosperity and not as just of a culture, then you are that person. And so you are what you attract, and you deserve everything that you get, good or bad. And so the minute that we stop running in the victim Olympics, stop saying that everything is a stereotype, and start addressing it appropriately, and then making the necessary changes in order to get to the results, you'll have much, much, much greater lives. You'll be much better wives. You'll have much greater relationships. You'll have better relationships with your children, and you'll get to the results. But so many of y'all are so resistant to the truth because you don't want to face who in the mirror. And so you continue to blame your problems on everybody else, and it's everybody else's fault why you have a bad attitude. Again, make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Also, Teach Hanley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. I'm curious as to what y'all think. Do y'all think that this woman is cooking, or do y'all think that she's off base and that's just a stereotype? I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.